2021, 9:30 a.m. We're going to have our invocation by Councilor Woods and our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilor Woods. So everyone,
Double dip.
going to turn it over. Councilor Woods, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. If you would bow your heads, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for another day to come out and work, and another day to get it right, Lord. We thank that you just guide us as we work through so many issues that we see here locally and across our country, Lord. We thank that you just guide our decision making, allow us to work together and effectively for the betterment of the city, Lord. I ask that you watch over everyone and keep us safe as we try to work our way to the end of this coronavirus pandemic, Lord. We just ask that you just continue to lift up everyone, allow us to be better today than we were on yesterday. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Salute the flag, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Mr. Clerk. How you doing? And Madam Clerk.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Ms. Dees will be handling the meeting today.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, Madam Clerk, good morning. Before you get started, I do just want to, Miss Davis, I know she's listening out in Woodlawn area, just wanted to wish her a happy belated birthday. So anyway, Madam Clerk, just wanted to, she's 25 years young. So anyway, I just want to make sure I get that in. Madam Clerk, how are you this morning?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing fine.
Hey, Councilor Abbott.
Present.
Councilor Hilliard. Councilor Hilliard. Councilor Hoyt. Councilor O'Quinn.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilor Smitherman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilor Williams. Councilor Williams. Councilor Woods.
Good morning.
Good morning. President Pro Tem Alexander.
Good morning, President.
Good
morning. And Council President Parker.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Need approval for the minutes for November 10th, 17th, and 24th of 2020.
Move.
Second. And Lethea, I'm here. They just had me muted for some reason.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll figure out who.
Hoyt, that was Councilor Hoyt. How you doing this morning, Councilor Hoyt?
I'm doing very fine, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir.
Who made the second? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Williams.
Okay, great. All righty. Councilor Abbott. This is the vote on the minute.
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard. Councilor Hoyt.
I mean, yes.
Councilor O'Quinn.
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman.
Aye.
Councilor Williams.
Aye.
Councilor Woods.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander.
Aye.
And Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved. The minutes are not ready for September 29th, 2020, December 1st, 2020 through April 27th, 2021. Madam Clerk, do we have any announcements of boards and agencies, or we're good to move forward?
Hold on one second. Okay. 1 minute, please. Let me pull those up. This is for the month of June. On the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals, we have two people whose term has expired, E. Mabry Rogers and Christopher Swain. Their terms expire June 22nd. And this goes to the Public Improvements Committee.
Okay. All right.
Also, under the special municipal judges, we have 4 positions that are vacant. They all expire June 11th, 2021. Judge Jamaria Moore, Judge Anita Westbury, Judge Lee Loader. Judge Keisha Davis actually resigned effective December 4th, 2020. So her term is vacant. They all go to the Administration Committee. And lastly, the Birmingham Jefferson County Port Authority. That person is Jonathan Porter. His term expires June 14th, 2021. That goes to the Transportation Committee jointly with the Jefferson County Commission. That's the appointment that's jointly appointed by the council and the county commission. And those are all of the expirations for the month of June.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you. The Council of the City of Birmingham, having reviewed the agenda presented for this meeting on May 4th, 2021, hereby finds that the proposed actions contained on the agenda to be considered at this meeting constitute essential minimum functions of this body.
Move the item.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn,
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman,
Aye.
Councilor Williams,
Aye.
Councilor Woods,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
and Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay. We'll move to the consent agenda, Madam Clerk.
Okay. The consent agenda begins on page 2 with items number 1. And I'm sorry, the others aren't marked, but they're also on consent. Items number 1, 2, and on page 3, item number 3. Page 4, items 5 and 6. On page 5, items 7 and 8. On page 6, items 10, 11, and 12. On page 7, items 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. On page 8, items 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. On page 9, items 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. On page 10, items 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. On page 11, items 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. On page 12, items 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. On page 13, items 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. On page 14, items 51, 52, and 53. Page 15, items 54, 55, and 56. On page 16, items 57, 58, and 59. On page 17, items 60, 61, 62, and 63. Page 18, items 64, 65, 66, and 67. Page 19, items 68, 69, 70, 71. And on page 21, item 74. We have 3 addendum items, and those items, item 7, they are also marked consent. Item 75, 76, and on addendum page 2, 77. And that
Okay.
completes the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. All righty. How are we on the consent agenda, everybody? Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
item 9, 11, and 12 off consent.
Okay. 9 is already off. So you want number 11, and what's the other item?
12.
Okay. So 11 and 12 are off of.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Okay. Anyone else? We're good. Okay. All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member, the mayor, or citizen interested in public hearing so request. If so, such item or items will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. All matters of permanent operation will be read. All other matters will be announced by reading the item number only. All public hearings will be announced. So,
Move the items.
Second.
Okay, Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn,
Aye.
Councilor Smitherman,
Aye.
Councilor Williams,
Aye.
Councilor Woods,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
Council President Parker.
okay, aye. Okay, the consent agenda passes. Madam Clerk, we're ready. Let me ask you, since 2, 3, and 4, can we call all those, or 2 and 3, can we call those together, or we need to be separate?
We put those on the consent agenda. They were supposed to be marked consent,
Okay.
but they were accidentally left
Okay.
off.
All right,
Okay.
cool. All right.
Okay. Item number 4 is your first item. It's on page 4. An ordinance approving the execution and recording of a declaration of covenants and restrictions for property located at 1231 and 1235 23rd Street, South Birmingham, modifying the application of a settlement agreement and releasing covenants recorded in the probate records of Jefferson County, Alabama, and authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents. And this is the second reading of this item.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or this particular item? Okay. If not, Madam Clerk, ready to vote.
Okay.
Wait, we didn't see
Okay.
the presentation.
I thought we received it last week. We did not.
We didn't listen to it. It didn't
Okay.
receive unanimous consent, so we didn't even hear
Okay.
that.
All right.
Good morning, President Parker, and good morning, Council. I'm Katrina Thomas. I serve as Interim Deputy Director in the Department of Planning, Engineering, and Permits. Item number 4 is an ordinance to approve the execution and recording of a declaration of covenants and restrictions for property that's located at 1231 and 1235 23rd Street South. Essentially, this item will modify the restrictions that was placed on the property back in 1992 due to a settlement agreement that was related to zoning litigation. Modification of this agreement will allow an existing paved parking lot that's on 23rd Street South to be used to develop residential townhomes and flats. This property is zone R6 multiple dwelling district and does allow the proposed use. And the proposed declarations presented for consideration will essentially maintain a lot of the requirements of the settlement agreement, but will allow the development to extend beyond the existing parking lot footprint. This item did receive favorable recommendation from the Highland Park and Redmond Park Neighborhood Associations, and also the Planning and Zoning Committee. I do believe representatives from Bear Properties are on the line to answer any additional questions that you all may have about this request.
Ms. Thomas,
I have a question.
can you have them to,
Mr. Chair.
yeah, can you have them to say a few words and then we'll
Chair.
then.
Yes, Jamie Watkins with Bear Properties and Attorney Charlie Beavers. I see them listed as panelists, so they should be able to provide more information.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all doing?
We're well. Hope you are.
Doing fine.
I'm Charlie Beavers, and my pleasure to be here on behalf of the applicant, which is the owner of this property. The 1992 agreement allowed the development of this property for an office building and for a parking deck that could serve an office building, notwithstanding zoning. It also imposed a height limitation, a setback limitation, and certain requirements with respect to surface water drainage. What this amendment will do is delete the potential that the property could be developed for office and parking deck. That goes away. So it would be subject to the R6 zoning. It allows the setbacks to be consistent with the Highland Park overlay provisions, which are specific to that area and want to push the building forward to the street and put parking in the rear. So it would change the existing agreement to allow that. It keeps in place a 35-foot height limitation. It keeps in place also certain restrictions and provisions with respect to surface water drainage and protections of the neighborhood area there, and releases the city from any obligation to maintain those surface water drainage facilities. That's kind of the long and the short of the amendment or the declaration that would accomplish those provisions.
Mr. President.
Sure. Council.
So is this the same property by the, is it a Temple, Emmanuel, up in the Highland area there? I guess the old Sorority Crummy property, is that what we're talking about?
Yes, it's adjacent to the Crescent Building parking deck.
Okay, okay. And so now we've made some adjustments and we're ready to move forward.
Correct.
Mr. President,
Yeah, let me make sure that Council Horty, you finished with your questions or you get.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm fine for right now.
Okay. Councilor Abbott.
thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Hoyt, this is the one I texted you about last week. I wanted to say that this is in my district. I appreciate the developers and the property owners and their attorney having so much patience with both of the neighborhood associations, primarily Highland Park, where there are a lot of sensitivities and concerns about development. And they have gotten, I think, almost everyone satisfied, and I appreciate their patience and meeting with the neighborhoods repeatedly to make sure all of the details were ironed out and that everyone understood what was going to be done. And I think that in the end, this will be a very nice development, a good one for the neighborhood. And of course, the neighborhood is always concerned about keeping the neighborhood residential rather than commercial. So this is actually an improvement over what we've had, which is a surface parking lot. And now it will have people living on it. So I wanted to thank everyone that's been involved because it has been a long time. I see Charlie Beaver's head nodding. It has been a long time and it's been a little bit convoluted, but we've made it through. So I just wanted to thank everybody that worked on it.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Council. We appreciate all your help with this too. Thank you.
Well, I know I've been an impediment part of the time, so I just wanted to recognize that also. You have to admit it when you are. So.
We got here though. It's okay.
We appreciate that very much.
Well, truly, I always
Mr.
have
Chair.
the protection of the neighborhood in mind, and I feel like in this case, the neighborhood has been protected and that they've been included so that there are not people out there with, pitchforks and feathers and tar waiting to catch somebody. So it's all a good thing. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Council Hoyt, did you have something else?
Yeah, just wanted to say, I certainly can appreciate zoning being maximized with respect to trying to preserve this community. And I would like to see the same kind of preservation to take place in our African-American communities, because we seem to get anything and everything. And, when you can't even build $1 million houses in certain areas, it raises concern that we can go into the Black community and build anything. And I want the same kind of attention to my community, my district, as we give to other districts. And, and I'm looking at this council and see that there's some real serious issues here. We just voted to put multifamily in my community. And when I, tell you I was opposed to it because we should have been building single family detached homes. But I just want the folk to understand we have to do better, and we have to want better for the Black community, just we do for majority Caucasian communities.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions, comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say that this is multiple family. It's not individual houses. It is multiple family, but it's an improvement over. It's improvement. It's an improvement over a parking lot, and that's the reason the community is excited about it.
Okay.
There's a dichotomy in that.
Okay. Number one.
Dichotomy.
Okay. Number one. Counselor Abbott. Counselor Abbott, you have you've been recognized. You want to speak, and Counselor Hoyt, if you want to be recognized after Counselor Abbott, of course we would allow you to speak, but one at a time, please. Counselor Abbott, did you have some?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just wanted to be sure that everyone knew that this is multiple family, but it's an improvement over a parking lot, that we're going to have families actually living on the property that's just been sitting there with asphalt on it. So, and as long as the drainage and the landscaping is taken care of, I think everybody was pretty satisfied. So, thank you.
They're not cutting down any trees, are they, Valerie?
Hey, Counselor Williams. All right, come on. All right.
Asphalt.
Yes.
Asphalt.
All right.
I'm gonna be
Williams,
cut this tree.
Okay.
Let's lighten up a little bit. This is a good project. Let's lighten up.
All right, Counselor Hoyt, do you want to close us out? Counselor Hoyt, do you want to close us out, sir? And then we're gonna go. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm for development. I've been a proponent of development. And matter of fact, I supported this project even when I was in chair of the planning and development, the planning committee. But I just want the same kind of attention that we give to our community. And there is a dichotomy here because we're talking about market rate housing. Ain't no affordable housing going up in that community. Zero. And you want to put all the other stuff in our community. No, there's a dichotomy. And I think the council knows well what that looks like. So there's no comparison. We're not talking about apples to apples. We're talking about apples to oranges, plums.
Well,
That was for you, Council Williams.
All right, guys. Okay. All right, we're about to vote now. Are there any other comments?
yeah, Mr. President.
Are you sure, Council Williams?
Yeah, I just want to thank the developer Jamie and their attorney Charlie Beavers for being so patient with the neighborhood. I know that a lot of developers and especially their attorneys a lot of times don't have that type of patience. So that I'm sure that was a test of what they do have, and I think that it is going to be a great asset to not only Highland Park but the entire city of Birmingham. But I think we're ready for the vote, Mr. President.
Okay. All righty. Madam Clerk.
Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn,
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman,
Aye.
Councilor Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Woods,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
President Parker.
Yes. Okay. That item passes unanimously. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right. Next item, Madam Clerk,
The
please.
next item is item number 9, and it's on page 5. An ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor to execute a redevelopment agreement with Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America, under which the city of Birmingham will convey up to 24 vacant lots, which comprise a portion of the former Camellia Terrace Apartments property located in the 1,000 and 1,100 blocks of 51st Street in the Bellevue Heights neighborhood to Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America for a price of $1 per lot. And Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America will develop a single family housing unit on each lot transferred. Okay, this is the first reading, so we'll need unanimous consent to take this item up today.
I move for
I move for
unanimous consent.
Second.
Okay. Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn, Councilor O'Quinn, Councilor Smitherman,
Aye.
Councilor Williams,
Aye.
Councilor Woods,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, so now we need a motion on the item itself.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay. The item is before us. Chief.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, sir, how you doing? Good morning,
Doing
councilors.
Good morning.
So we have both Mr. Chris Hatcher and also Mr. Corey Stallworth from our Community Development Department to give you all an overview. Chris,
Okay.
Corey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Chief, and good morning, Council President and Council members. My name is Chris Hatcher. I serve as the Interim Director of Community Development. This ordinance, as Madam Clerk announced, will allow for the mayor to enter into a redevelopment agreement with the Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America to develop 24 market rate single family housing units in the Bellevue Heights community. This is a very exciting project. We've been working with developers in the past that have failed to produce in the redevelopment agreements that we entered into to build the housing. So we're fortunate to have an alliance with the Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America. On the call, I believe we have representatives from the Housing Reinvestment Corporation of America, Mr. Ed Gorman and Mr. Dennis Harold. They will be able to provide you more specifics about their organization and their plans for construction of the homes in Bellevue Heights. Let me see, hopefully they're on. They were able to join. Yes, there they are. Ed, Dennis, the floor is yours, gentlemen.
I don't see Ed. I know Ed was going to start off and give an overview. Ed, are you out there?
Can you tell me Ed's full name?
Ed Gorman.
All right, he should now be able to share.
Great. Okay. So I don't know if folks can see me, but I hope you can hear me. Yes, this is Ed Gorman, and I'm the president of the Housing Reinvestment Corp of America. We are an arm of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, and our organization is pleased to be working with the city of Birmingham. Some time ago, we signed an agreement with the Housing Authority, the Birmingham District, to produce homes, and now I think we're getting a chance to do something terrific with the mayor and the city in an area that I know you all have had a long interest in seeing single family housing developed, and these are going to be really lovely homes. They're going to be affordable. We specialize in investing in low and moderate income census tracts and to help homeowners who are low and moderate income and from communities of color get opportunities to buy single family homes. It will be new homes. They should be beautiful homes. You all have seen the designs and like them. And so we really look forward to this project, and hopefully one of many to come in which we can invest our capital alongside others to produce single family home ownership opportunities in Birmingham. With me today is Dennis Harold, who is our regional representative. And Dennis, if you're there, why don't you say hello to everybody and let folks know. I mean, this is going to happen pretty quickly. So we hope to have these houses built, these first 24 houses built, and perhaps even sold before the end of the year, but certainly built. Dennis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be able to address the body. Basically, just to kind of give a synopsis of what we're looking at, building houses, a single family, 1 and 2 story houses in the 1227 to 1350 square feet is where our target is right now. All of these houses are slated to be under $200,000, which is in the midst of our pandemic and inflated material prices. I think is going to be quite a feat, and we just really look forward to working alongside everybody, dealing with Chris and Corey, and these guys have been really helpful with us as far as getting us started. So we're looking to get through final approval, building permits, and get going as soon as possible.
And the BCIA.
And the BCIA, absolutely.
Okay. Is that Mr. Hatcher, you finished? We can.
Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. Hatcher, you finished? Hold on.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. Council Hoyt.
Yeah, well, I want to thank the mayor and the staff for finishing up these houses. These houses were promised to this community over 10 years ago. we had many snags in this project. But I do know that the NRC have done some great things around the country. So we're glad, and this is a neighborhood that I live in, and this is the kind of development we want to see happen. Market rate housing. It is a well-kept community, and we want something to be a complement to that. And I think this project has that kind of weight. And I'll be interested to know what is the lowest price on the house, because that matters to me.
We are hoping to be able to produce these houses for somewhere, I think the mid-range is probably about 185, 180 to 185 is our hope.
That's good.
And expectation.
That's good.
Yeah, we're proud of these. I mean, I think you're going to be proud of them when they're done. And, you know, I hope you'll find that we're a good partner. We certainly aim to be.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other counselors? Any questions, comments? Okay. If not, okay, we're ready to vote, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Counselor Abbott. Counselor Hilliard.
Aye.
Counselor Hoyt.
Yes.
Counselor O'Quinn.
Yes.
Counselor Smitherman.
Aye.
Counselor Williams.
Aye.
Counselor Woods.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander.
Aye.
And Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay. All right, that item is passed. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Okay, the next item is on page 6, item number 11. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Morehouse College and Tuskegee University, under which the city will host a Morehouse Tuskegee football classic at Legion Field Stadium for a term of 3 years commencing October 9th, 2021, and the agreement may be renewed for 2 additional 1-year terms, subject to an appropriation by the City Council in each corresponding fiscal year's budget. And the city will provide, pursuant to amendment number 772, incentives and in-kind services relative to hosting the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic in an amount not to exceed $500,000 each year. I need a motion and second.
Second.
Okay. The item is before us. Council Hoyt, you have questions, or what do you want to do?
Well, I'm just concerned in the amount of money that we are offering these schools and not having some understanding of what the regular attendance is. And I don't know if this game would garner the kind of response that Alabama and Alabama State has been able to garner over the years. And so I'm just trying to see the economic impact, the projected economic impact of this game, and why we are not offering other local colleges the same kind of package, i.e. Miles College, who has won championships, I guess, for the last 3 years or so. And there seems to be quite a momentum going with respect to that. And last time I checked, Morehouse wasn't winning that many games, so I'm just trying to see. I'm sorry, Earl. I'm just saying.
Okay, so here's where let me kind of put it in context, and we can kind of work through some of the things. The park board from the park board's perspective, we approved the contract to host the game. And as you know, there's an effort just to make sure that we have multiple events at Legion Field with UAB transitioning downtown. There's an effort to really make sure that we have as many events at Legion Field as, with UAB not being there. This is a great step forward with Morehouse and Tuskegee, along with the Classic in October. There are efforts for Labor Day weekend to bring multiple events there. The economic impact of this one, we can ask for those numbers, but the larger strategy, I think, is the tourism dollars we had set aside is to aggressively go out and pursue events at Legion Field, whether that's through concerts, through football games, through soccer, through multiple, components. But I think this allows us to have another game there and build upon that to have where you want to have Labor Day. And the goal is really just to have every weekend where you have different football classics from Labor Day through Thanksgiving. And so this is part of that effort.
So, Mr. Chairman, you've been the chair of Park and Rec. Well, you're not the chair, but you're the chair of the committee.
I'm a member of the park.
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, and I am too. It just seems it seems disingenuous to not go after Miles and Tuskegee or one of these other schools where we know in past history that we've had in excess of 40 to 50,000 people attending those games. Stillman at one point, I think, when we did the Labor Day Classic, as I've been on the Park and Rec committee for a long time, you had about 60,000 people at one point. So, and to bring a team that really doesn't have a history of winning doesn't say much about, because at the end of the day, we can have the events, but the events are not generating revenue, then, we're in a hole.
Well, first of all, I think.
I mean, I'm just speaking truth.
No, I understand that, but
I want to hear, but I'm just talking truth.
Yeah, but as relates to Miles College, I think if you would just stay tuned for the Miles College being a part of events moving forward. I think if you just stay tuned on that one, I think your thoughts will just stay tuned on the Miles College. Obviously, we love Miles College, and they, have a good football.
They're right here.
Program.
They're right
I understand
here.
that, but I understand that, but this is just
champions.
I know this is just one game of multiple games that will be taking place at Legion Field, and I would just simply ask you to stay tuned as relates to Miles College and what role they'll play at Legion Field, whether moving forward. I would just simply say,
I would want to see the same kind of synergy and investment with Miles as we doing with a team that doesn't win.
Let me just. I think as it relates to HBCUs, but the way the trend is now, as far as with football classics, that we have to be very aggressive, and so just like the effort is put in Morehouse, Tuskegee, the same energy has to be put in Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and also with Miles. So I think there's an aggressive effort to make sure that we support all of our HBCUs, and I think Miles will. I think everybody's going to be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, the only problem, Mr. President, we didn't. Miles is here. We didn't reach out to them in the same manner, and that concerns me greatly. And half the teachers in Birmingham are Miles College graduates, and so Miles has a wonderful history in this community. and they have spent enormous years in trying to build a program, and now we got a program, and our own backyard won't even, you know, help to promote the school.
Okay,
So
Council. Okay. Here's what I can say is that I would just simply say you just hold tight on those thoughts. I really am very confident that I think you're going to be pleased with the entire package, not just this game, but also the involvement of our local HBCU. You know, Miles, I went to Talladega, so, but I have a lot of family and friends that have attended Miles, graduated from Miles, so, and they are an important part of our Birmingham community. This is just one game. There'll be multiple, you know, games that'll be coming before for, you know, for assistance. And so I just simply, you know, I think when you see the entire package, I think you'll be pleased. Can we go? I think you'll be pleased. Council Hoyt.
Yeah, I wait. I may exhale it.
Okay. All right. All right. Is there?
Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that in the past, we've asked that in the write-up on our agenda that they include the funding source, and we seem to forget to do that sometimes. And this is one of those cases. I know this is coming out of the lodging. I think it's the lodging
Yes, the
tax.
tourism. I think it's the tourism. What we set it up for was to go out for recruitment of sports and tourism. And,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
But
so I think that.
yeah, my request is simply that the administration or whoever writes up these things actually put the funding source on the agenda, because citizens who read it don't get to read all the backup information. We do, but they don't. So
Okay.
having the funding source always noted, I think, is an important thing, just so the public will know how we're paying for these things. And then we also need to make sure that we're bringing events that actually bring people to the city of Birmingham, because we don't want to have football games at Legion Field where we don't have attendance. So I simply would like to see games coming and then promotion of them to where we have, I know we're not going to have a full stadium, but let's have people show up, because we don't want to be giving away city money and not bringing people to Birmingham, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Morning. Good morning, Mr. President, and good morning to the council. Ms. Abbott, to your point, Morris Tuskegee Classic is an 87-year-old classic. It's actually older than the Alabama State and Alabama A&M Classic, which will be 80 years old this year. It's a very storied tradition of two colleges, a college and a university in the SIAC conference. This annual event, they've met in Columbus, Georgia for years. It is usually a sold out event. What's happening is they have not felt the support they need for this event to continue for the next 87 years that they can get in Columbus, Georgia. So part of that is that the schools were looking for a better experience. They were out looking for another city to be in. We could either show them what Birmingham had to offer, or they were going to go to another city. Ms. Abbott, I actually look forward to you and your colleagues attending this event, because I think you'll actually be pleased with the experience. And I think alum, students, and any potential students who from our 7 high schools go to these 2 institutions every year that graduate from our schools will appreciate this experience as well.
As long as they have good bands.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's we want that, and we're looking forward to the great fan experience. That's if everyone takes their vaccination shots. So we want to make sure. But this is a great, I think it's a great classic. Looking forward to a lot of. It's a great fan experience as we move forward. So with that, or any other comments, thoughts? Yes, sir, Councilor Hoyt.
Yeah, I have been to Columbia at least 3 times. it's not that big of a stadium. And probably on average, seats about 15 to 20,000 people. And so it's not a big venue at all.
Okay.
One side is concrete, the other side is bleachers.
Yes, sir. I think the goal is by coming to Legion Field, I think we'll be able to have tailgating, have a true fan experience. I think you couple that with empowerment sessions, just similar to where, other classics. So I think we have the opportunity to really take the, from a 15 to 20,000 and grow it to maybe 30 to 35,000 over a 2 or 3 year. By year 3, the goal is to grow it to, 25, 30,000, fans. So we, of course, Legion Field, we can handle up to 72,000. So I think it gives us an opportunity to grow the classic and make it a true fan experience. But at the same time, also being able to demonstrate that we can host, multiple events at Legion Field. And so the opportunities are going to be endless for us. I think we having the recruitment fund to be able to go out and attract a lot of different other football games, Mad City Classic plus the Morehouse Tuskegee game will allow Birmingham to really truly be, the football capital of the South and being at Legion Field. And I think it'll make sure that we have plenty of activities. You book in that with the high school games, plus some potential soccer games with, multiple football games, and you throw in a couple of summer concerts. I think with the Funk Fest, I think you'll see a full calendar of events at Legion Field. And I think that's the trend now. And so, I think this helps in that larger platform of making sure Legion Field is going to be viable for at least the next 50 years moving forward. So
I can appreciate that, Mr. President, and I'm not negating the fact that you all worked on this. I'm an advocate of Miles College, and I don't bag off of it because Miles has been good to this community.
Absolutely.
And educating our young folk. They are here, and rarely do you get the kind of respect that you need from your own folk around in this city. So I stand by that. I'm a man of principle, and the best deal and what should have been worked out first was Miles College, notwithstanding a losing team.
Okay. All right. We're gonna, as I said, if you could just keep your powder dry on the Miles College piece, I think stay tuned on that one, please.
How long?
Not long. Not long.
Okay.
Not long. If you hold me on that one, not long on that one. Okay. So we'll, as relates to the importance that Miles plays in the community, and certainly they have a great athletic program, and President Knight's doing a great job out at Miles College. So, and they just had their graduation this past weekend. So I think they're doing great out at Miles, and we definitely want to make sure we support them in every way possible. And athletics is important. So anyway, all right. With that, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Abbott,
Aye.
Counselor Hilliard,
Aye.
Counselor Hoyt,
Yes.
Counselor O'Quinn,
Yes.
Counselor Smitherman,
Aye.
Counselor Williams,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
and Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay, that item passes. Next item, Madam Clerk.
The next item is also on page 6. It's item number 12. A resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an assignment and consent of rights to city payments and to amended and restated project agreement with 29-7 LLC and Welderfield Field Development LLC, pursuant to which an amended and restated project agreement dated June 2nd, 2011, between 29-7 LLC and the city, under which the city agreed to provide up to $1,500,000 in incentives in support of 29-7 LLC's development of a mixed-use retail and residential project located at the northwest corner of the intersection of 29th Street South and 7th Avenue South, will be assigned to Weldon Field Development LLC with the city's consent. Need a motion.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, the item is before us. Chief, you have someone that can.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, we have Mr. Griffin Lassiter from the Office of Innovation and Economic Opportunity who's going to speak to this item, sir.
Yes, thank you, Chief. This is Griffin Laster, Senior Project Manager in Innovation and Economic Opportunity. This is an assignment of a agreement approved by Council in 2011 from one Birmingham developer to another longtime Birmingham developer as part of a sales agreement between the two of them. The financials that were approved by the council do not change at all. The only change in this is is the name of the developer. I think we have on the line, if there are any questions that you want addressed, Meade Silsby with the 29-7 LLC, and Jim Stanley is with us about the agreement itself.
Good morning. Good morning. Are they on, Mr. Stanley? Or
I say Jim. I don't see Meade. I guess I don't know what happened. Meade Silsby is the developer with 29-7. I don't see Meade on here anymore. He may have had to have left, but Jim and I can try to address any questions that might be.
okay, well, why don't we let Mr. Stanley talk, and while you get the developer back on the line, even if they can call in.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody wants to hear.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody wants to.
I'm here. I was having a hard time getting back on there.
Okay.
It would let me get on there. I apologize.
Okay, no problem. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
I can certainly answer any questions if anybody has anything.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if he could talk about the development, and is there any affordable housing in this development?
So these are there's 54 mixed-use multifamily units above about 14,000 feet of retail. They are market rent product.
So the answer is no.
That's correct, sir.
Yeah, you can say that. Okay.
And we built that.
Okay, trying to figure, Council Hoyt, do you have any other questions, or is that your only?
No, that's fine. Perhaps a good project. It's just that we don't get them in my neighborhood, in my community, my district. We get affordable housing, multifamily, and boxes.
Okay. Are there other questions, comments from other council members? Okay. Madam Clerk, I think we're ready.
Councilor Abbott?
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard?
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt?
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn?
Yes.
O'Quinn? Okay. Councilor Smithman? Councilor Smithman?
Aye.
Councilor Williams?
Aye.
Councilor Woods,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay, that item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, before we go to the next item, I kind of want to take up an item that we should have carried it on the consent agenda, but it's an addendum item, another one, and I'll read it. It's a resolution determining Teachers Appreciation Week, National Nurses Week, National Mental Health Awareness Week, and I'm going to add one to it, the 60th anniversary of the Freedom Riders. Serves as public purposes in the city of Birmingham. Funds will be administered to pay for said events, receptions, and presentations in accordance with Section 3-1 of the General Code of the City of Birmingham. So this is an addendum item. Just want to make sure we got to it before we adjourn, because I think several events are going on this week with that, with some of those, with the Teachers Week. So I just want to bring that up as an addendum item now.
Okay, I need a motion on the item.
So moved.
Second.
Councilor Abbott. Councilor Abbott.
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard.
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt.
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn.
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman. Councilor Williams.
Aye.
Councilor Woods.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander.
Aye.
And Council President Parker.
Okay, aye. Okay, that item is approved. And real quick, before we go back to it, Councilor Abbott, did you have an announcement? I know you make about your meeting in case you have to, you have a family with your mother. So I just want to make sure you're able to get that announcement about the budget and finance in.
Okay, thank you. The next virtual budget and finance meeting will be May 10th, 2021 at 3:30 p.m. Submissions are due on May 5th by noon. Of course, there are no exceptions, and we hope that everyone will get their information turned in complete form. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Councilor Abbott. Okay. Madam Clerk, we're ready to, I think it's a couple more items and we'll be ready.
Okay, the next item is on page 19. Item number 72. A resolution setting a public hearing June 1st, 2021 to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2020-00026, to change zone district boundaries from R3 single family district to QD5 multiple dwelling district to allow the construction of townhomes, filed by Corey Johnston, the owner for the properties located at 4424, 4428, 4432, and 4446 Montevallo Road, and situated in the northeast quarter of Section 34, Township 17, South Range 2 West, Birmingham. In the event that the governor's proclamation is extended beyond May 7th, the council meeting and this hearing will be held virtually via Cisco WebEx. To participate in this meeting, you will need to follow the link provided below or use the call-in information provided. This link will also be available for public participation, even if the council meets in the council chambers. If you would like to attend via your computer, follow the link which is listed on the agenda. If you would like to attend via phone, dial 1-415-655-0002 and then enter 187-167-7746 ##. If you have joined by computer and wish to speak to the item, please use the raise hand button in the WebEx application. If you have joined by phone, You will be given the opportunity to speak after recognition of the speakers using the online platform. If you have joined the meeting by telephone and would like to request to speak, dial *3 when prompted during the meeting. Please be patient. Speakers will be given the usual 3-minute limit for comments. If you have any questions about the participation in one of these hearings, you may contact the Council's Public Information Office by emailing kimberly.garner@birminghamal.gov. I need a motion on the
So
item.
moved.
Second.
Okay. Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor
Aye.
Hoyt, Councilor Hoyt, Councilor O'Quinn,
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman, Councilor Williams,
Aye.
Councilor Woods, Councilor Woods,
Yes.
Councilor President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
and Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay. The public hearing is set for June 1st.
Okay, item 73 is on page 20. A resolution setting a public hearing June 1st, 2021 to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2020-00027, to change zone district boundaries from HZ Holding Zone, Shelby County, and B2 General Business District, Shelby County, to QD5 Qualified Multiple Dwelling District, City of Birmingham, to construct a new 187 residential unit development filed by Jim Beatty, representing the owner, Abbey Greystone LLC, Frank Barfield, for the properties located at 7273 and 7277 Cahaba Valley Road and situated in the southwest quarter of Section 29, Township 18, South Range 1, West. In the event that the governor's proclamation is extended beyond May 7th, the council meeting and this hearing will be held virtually via Cisco WebEx. To participate in this meeting, you will need to follow the link provided below or use the call-in information provided. This link will also be available for public participation, even if the council meets in the council chambers. If you would like to attend via your computer, follow the link listed on the agenda. If you would like to attend via phone, dial 1-415-655-0002 and then enter 187-167-7746 #. If you have joined by computer and wish to speak to the item, please use the raise hand button in the WebEx application. If you have joined by phone, you will be given the opportunity to speak after recognition of the speakers using the online platform. If you have joined the meeting by telephone and would like to request to speak, dial *3 when prompted during the hearing. Please be patient. Speakers will be given the usual 3-minute limit for comments. If you have any questions about participation in one of these hearings, you may contact the council's public information office by emailing kimberly.garner@birminghamal.gov. And I'd like a motion, please.
Move the item. Second.
Okay. Councilor Abbott,
Aye.
Councilor Hilliard,
Aye.
Councilor Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilor O'Quinn,
Yes.
Councilor Smitherman, Smitherman,
Aye.
Okay. Councilor Williams,
Aye.
Councilor Woods,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Alexander,
Aye.
and Council President Parker.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is set as well for June 1st.
And that's the
Okay.
last item on the agenda.
Okay, all righty. Do we have any announcements of committee meetings only? Councilor Abbott has made hers. Are there any more? Okay.
Yes, President Parker, just one. The PIC meeting will be today at 2.
Okay, yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. All right, are there any others? Councilor Williams, you have a motion?
Yep, let's adjourn.
Second.
All in
Mr.
favor, let
President,
me
before
know
you
by saying
adjourn,
aye.
Aye.
before you adjourn,
Hold on. I'm not gonna Council Hoyt.
thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to thank Central staff last week for assisting us with our town hall. It was very successful, but it would not have been if we didn't have the help of Central staff. So I want to say to Ms. Kimberly, to Ms. Alicia, I think I got that right this time, and to Cody, thank you all. What a very successful event we had, and just want to say thank you, and to my staff, Mr. Loza Brown and Mrs. Langford did a yeoman's job, and all the participants last week were just superlative. So I just wanted to share that with you all.
All right, well, thank you. All righty.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, all right. Everyone, please stay safe.